little bit. They're like, yo, you have a chance to go to the NBA? I'm like, man, I don't know, man. Like I'm just playing the game I love to play at this point. You know what I'm
But
saying?
on the flip side, though, I mean, and looking back, did you ever stop and say to yourself, like, at that particular moment, like, damn, like, yo, I didn't start playing basketball till I was 13, and now my college coach was telling me that got NBA scouts inquiring about me. That's ill. Did you ever stop to even think about that and think about how dope that was at the time, considering that you started playing so late?
I don't think I ever grasped it. To tell you the truth, I wasn't on it like that.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I'm looking at everybody else that's 2002 at the time, like all these guards and all that. I'm like, I ain't got no chance to be in the NBA. Like, I'm making some noise here, but
Right.
I'm not making enough noise. Maybe if I was at one of those schools and I
Right.
had the stats I had, then I'd be like, yeah, I deserve to have scouts at my practice. I deserve to have, inquiries about, you know what I'm saying, agents and stuff like that. Then I'd have been like, yeah, it's deserving. But being where I was at, we wasn't really winning. I'm doing what I'm doing. They could be like, all right, he's doing this on a losing team. But I always looked at it like, shit, if I had some of the All-Americans that some of these guys had, nigga, I'd be out of this world. That's how I started looking at it. Like, they got their names and all that, but look who they playing with.
Right.
Not to discredit anybody I played with. Our roads were all different. So I love every single player I played with. But I'm just thinking from my point of view, like, if the skills I had, I know I was on the level of a lot of these guys that got drafted.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Skill-wise.
Right.
So if I always played with better people around me anyway. So if I had teams like a Texas or any of those teams with some All-Americans, my stats would have looked even better percentage-wise, because now I don't got to force shots. I don't got to take 15, 16 shots. I can take shots within the flow of a game, set guys up. You know what I'm saying? And things of that nature. So, like, that's how I looked at it. And from there, that's what it was. So
now, okay, you have a phenomenal junior season. You made all conference. Your
junior year, I made all conference. I made all conference.
Right.
First team.
Right.
I made all Metro.
Right.
Second team.
Right.
That year. You know, so I made a lot of things, but that shit never really. I never cared. I was forced to go to those ceremonies.
Listen, let me tell you something. I feel like, obviously, you were never one of those dudes that cared about the accolades. And I remember we were messaging one time, and you said to me, yo, all I wanted to do was compete with the best and have them say, you know what, that dude is nice. That's all you ever cared about. The accolades and everything that came with it, those are not things that you look for. But I feel like, deservingly so, you had to get your just due because you took the unconventional route. You worked hard. You busted behind, and like you said, nothing was given to you. Now you come back in senior year. You put up the same numbers, 20 points a game. Was that the year that you had what was your the season high? I don't want to mistake it. Was it a 50 piece?
53. But before that though, before we get into the senior year, a lot of people don't know I had already planned to leave LIU after my junior year.
So you were gonna leave?
Yes, like a lot of people don't know.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? Shout out to, you know what I'm saying, Jamal Smiley. He was working for Bill Duffy. That was who Speedy was under. Like that, after my senior year, I left to go to Cali.
After your junior year? After your junior year, you mean?
Yeah, after my junior year. To me, I was done with school because my coach had got fired within that year. So I would have had a new coach going into my senior year. So I was in Cali in May. I didn't even go to the school banquet, none of that. I'm out there with Fred Jones, Kareem Rush. We working out, you know what I'm saying?
In Cali.
in Cali. Yeah. So like mentally I was already going. I was already like, all right, I'm working out with these guys. They got NBA clients. They got great overseas connection. I'm already thinking I'm going to the money. I've done all I could do at LIU. Plus my coaches leaving. I would have to deal with a new coach, this, that, and third. So that was a process in itself. I was in Cali maybe for like 2 weeks, training, eating right, getting my body right, doing, you know what I'm saying, do what I do. And then I got a call when Coach Ferry got the job. He knew somebody that was dealing with Duffy and them from N1.
Wow.
So they told him I was out there. So he called me and was like, hey, like, what's going on? Like, do you plan on coming back to school, this, that, and that? I said, really? I really don't plan on coming back to school, whatever, this, that, and the third. So make a long story short, I came back home. I met with him. We had a long, detailed conversation. And then I ended up coming back for my senior year. We all know I didn't go pro after my junior year. But it was a great experience. It was a great experience.
I was going to ask you about that. What was that experience like in terms of just being around those guys and seeing that process?
Seeing that process was like, oh, I could be a pro. Now in my head, like, I could be a pro. What level pro I could be, I don't know. That's for the evaluators to see. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But I know just going through that training, waking up 5:30 in the morning, getting breakfast prepared for us, going to do our running and conditioning, then coming back, getting rest, having a meal prepared for lunch, then going doing the basketball activities, then coming back, relaxing, then going back and doing the water workouts and stuff like that. Then at night, getting a few hours just to go out and parlay and, you know what I'm saying, be young college guys that's about to be pros and experience, you know what I'm saying, the social life. So after experiencing that for 2 weeks, I'm like, yo, I could be a pro. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is what it takes to be a pro. Like, I could do this. You know what I'm saying? And then out there amongst other, I forgot some of the other players that was out there that wasn't part of Duffy's, you know what I'm saying, client list. But it was a whole bunch of guys trying to be pros, NBA pros, overseas pros. The run was excellent. Now I was already getting physically bigger from school, but now I'm getting even more. They doing your body fat. I didn't know nothing about none of that stuff. So now it's all pro shit. So now I'm learning a little bit of the business part, asking questions and so forth and so on. So now when I come back home and I have that meeting with Coach Ferry and we discussing things, he telling me this, that, and the third, how he could do this for me, the offensive run through here, whatever. So I made a conscious decision like, you know what? Maybe I'm not ready to be a pro yet. I could use another year of school, you know what I'm saying, to get more experience, this, that, and the third. And I stayed home. I don't regret the decision I made. Could I have made some bigger money after my junior year overseas compared to after my senior year? Yes, I could have. But could my career have lasted as long as it did if I would have left my junior year compared to my senior? I don't know. You know what I'm saying? So that's how I take it.
What did it do for your confidence? Being in that atmosphere, being in that environment, being around those guys, going through the process, coming back to school, and getting ready for the season. Where did that put you mentally, and what did it do for your confidence?
Mentally, it put me in a place where, like, I was playing my senior year, but I felt I was a pro already. Like, I felt I was a pro. Just from that 2 weeks alone, what I went through and the mindset that you have to be in to become a pro. So I went back to school knowing I'm going to be a pro. So I played like I was a pro my senior year. You know what I'm saying? Like, I knew I was going to be some type of pro. My goal of being a pro was going to be reached. Whether it came NBA-wise or overseas-wise, it was going to be reached. That was my mindset coming into my senior year. It was no doubt in my mind that I wasn't going to be a pro.
Talk about that 50-piece.
The 50-piece was like, it wasn't a planned 50-piece. You know, anytime we play against St. Francis, Brooklyn, is rivalry. We both from Brooklyn. The Battle of Brooklyn. You know what I'm saying? So I think, no, that was my junior year. Every year against St. Francis, within those 2 games in the season, I always have a historic game. Like my freshman year, I think I had a game where I had like a double-double. I dunked on the 7-footer straight down the middle. Had the gym going crazy. My sophomore year, I only got to play against them once because we played them early in the season.
Right.
My sophomore year, I got to play against them once, had a 30-piece, you know what I'm saying? Then my junior year, the first time we played them on MSG. I had 20 and 17, set a record for most assists in the game.
17 assists.
And then senior year come around. I don't know if we won the first game or not, but we go to St. Francis. It's towards the end of the season. This is in February now. So last time we playing each other, they got my man Bronski, Dockery. Like it was a gang of guys that was cool off the court. So this is our last time we get to meet up as seniors now. So you want to go out with bragging rights. So in the midst of the game, first half, now you had, I'm going to get to the end of the game, then bring you back to the end. You had multiple guys that had 30-plus games or 20-plus games. It went to 3 overtimes. It was like 147, 144, some shit like that.
3 overtimes?
It went 3 overtimes. But you had like 3 guys that had like 30, 2 guys with 20. Like, so at halftime, I think I have about 24 points, 25 points. So as I'm going to the locker room, I don't remember who it was, but somebody on the side like, yo, Dobie, you going for 50? So I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna get a 50 piece. So I'm just saying it because they asking. I'm like, right. I don't know if I'm getting 50. I'm not going out to try to get 50. But I had already had 23, 24 at halftime. So it's not too far-fetched from getting 50 if I have the same type of half I had in the first half.
Right.
So we come out the second half. My mom's is sitting behind a bench, you know. So she like, Hank, you gonna try to get 50? I said, yeah. I said, I'm gonna get 50 tonight. So now in my head, I'm going for 50 because Mom Dukes asked me, are you gonna get 50? You know what I'm saying? So the game is going, it's transpiring, boom, 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 baskets back and forth, dunks, threes, and one, shit talking, straight rivalry game. So we down 3 at the end of regulation. So Coach Ferry drew up a great play. Daquan Gary inbounds the ball. I'm at the foul line. I loop around. I receive it. I take one dribble before half court, hoist it. N1. I mean, not N1. It goes straight in. It goes in over. I'm jumping on the bleachers like, yeah, going crazy. So now we go into overtime. It's getting closer and closer to, it's 35, 40. It's getting closer to 50 points. So before you know it, at the end of the game, we lose. I end up having 53 points, 15 assists. So mind you, it wasn't like I was jacking. Mind you, we went 3 overtimes. So that's 40 minutes plus another 15 minutes. That's 55 minutes, right? I played 53 of the minutes. I only took 25 shots.
25 shots.
I went 15 for 25. I think 19 for 21 from the free throw line, like 6 for 10 or 5 for 10 from the 3 or something like that. Like, so it was a efficient game. You know what I'm saying?
Very much
it wasn't like I took 50 shots to get 50 points. But that was my career high. And I always look at my career like, damn, if I didn't miss those 14 games, I would have been LIU all-time leading scorer. I finished with like 1,600 and some change. With missing 15 games.
Yes, 1,600.
Yeah, so, you know, I always look at that like, damn, like I fell short, but like I was blessed to be able to play home in front of my family and friends and do the things I wanted to do. And like I said, I had that mental when I came back from that 2 weeks in May that I was going to be a pro regardless of anything. Like, you couldn't tell me I wasn't a pro playing my senior year. I was doing pro shit.
So now you complete your senior season. Mentally now, you were already saying to yourself, listen, I'm a pro. I'm playing pro no matter what. What steps were you taking to now pretty much solidify that and say, yo, you know what? Okay, this is where I'm playing. This is what I'm trying to do, yada, yada, yada.
Well, the process came a little bit easy for me because throughout the season, Coach kept telling me agents was contacting him already.
Throughout the season?
He kept up his end of the, you know what I'm saying, of the conversation we had that kind of got me back into school. You know what I'm saying? So, like, I started, you know what I'm saying, talking to agents towards the end of the year a little bit, seeing like, he like, yo, that's an agent, this is an agent, this, that. So, like, I had about 4 or 5 agents at the end of my senior year that like I was in contact with, like in early March, like in March, April, contacting them. They flying in from Cali. Like I had, you know what I'm saying, West Coast agents, East Coast Jersey, New York, like sitting down, taking me out, asking them questions, this, that, and the third. What can you do for me? Whatever. Do I get an advance? And all types of shit. Like, because I knew how it went from my Cali experience. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I'm saying? So I knew what type of questions I needed to ask and how can you help me get to where I wanted to go. Like, I don't have a set amount that I want to make right out the door. Like, what can you get for me? What has my resume presented for me? You pushing it out there. You know what I'm saying? So, like, it came down to, I ended up making my decision, like, probably like mid-May on an agent. Ben Pensack out of Cali was my agent. He was kind of small at the time, but he was what I needed. Somebody that could focus on me and put me in places where I needed to be successful and build my resume and make the type of money I wanted to eventually make. You know what I'm saying? Whatever my cap was. You know what I'm saying? So it was kind of easy.
For those that may not know, we said in the beginning you played 12 years professionally overseas. Poland.
Yeah, my first year I kind of, well, I didn't split it. I started off in Latvia.
Okay.
That was the blackout year.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? The blackout year when New York went black.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, so my flight was delayed. I ended up leaving a couple of days later because of the blackout. Okay. So I started off there, but when I got there, like at the time it was like a third world country. Like, I can't, like, I'm from the city. I definitely can't do this. Like, you fly into Riga, which was the capital, and then you drive 2 hours to where I was playing at. But
2 hours.
2 hours to where I was playing at. But within 45 minutes to an hour walk, you could walk from the end of the city to the beginning of the city, like a straight walk. So like really was nothing for me to do there. So I ended up staying there for like 2 weeks and like told my agent, like, yo, I'm not gonna be able, and I signed a 2-year contract.
Wow.
So what happened was, this is how I started learning the game as well overseas. So what happened was, I got placed there because my agent had a player there the year before who had a pretty good year. I think Myrie Chapman. He played there the year before. Ended up going to sign with, I think, Cheska the next year in Russia, whatever. So basically, he put me in a position where his former point guard played that or whatever. So I'm like, all right, cool. But then it was a situation with Myrie and his team to where they was like, yo, could we get him back and we'll pay your client now 2 months and we could help him get another job. So as soon as they brung that up, I was like, get me the fuck out of here. They're gonna pay me 2 months to let me leave because they want to bring boy back. Cool. He was here a whole year, so he know how to adjust.
Right.
I was cool with that. And then I left there and went to France, and that's where I started my career in Pro B in France. Dobie Antawn.
What was that like, being as though that was your first real introduction to being a pro? What was that experience like, being in France and embarking on your professional career?
That was an experience in itself because it was a small city. I was like 3.5 hours away from Paris.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? It was like, it kind of like was like one of those little small Florida towns where everybody go to retire.
Okay.
Type situation. So it was like a real small town or whatever. My teammate at the time was Darius Lane that went to Seton Hall.
Seton Hall, yes.
Seton Hall. That was my other American that was on my team.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? So we was on one of those teams it was a 16-team league at the time. We was picked to come in maybe like 10th or whatever. I'm always on one of those teams that's not supposed to do well. We end up finishing 3rd. You know what I'm saying? That season, we overachieved. You know what I'm saying? Went to the playoffs. You know what I'm saying? Had a successful year. The coach got another job after that. So, like, you know what I'm saying? Guys got bigger paydays after that because when you overachieve, that's what they looking at. That was the start of my resume. Like, oh, my first year, I helped the team overachieve. And, like, my career took off from there. Like, I always been who I was. Like, I didn't really care who I played with. My job was to get the best out of the players I played with because my confidence was always sky high after a certain point that I hit in my life to where I knew I could do me at any time. But to get the confidence of everybody else they play on a level that they're not accustomed to playing on. A lot of my teams that I play with overseas overachieve. You know what I'm saying? So like it was nothing for me.
You played in France, Poland, Germany.
Yep. Belgium. Nah, I never played in Germany. I
Okay.
split a season between Poland and Belgium.
Okay.
I started off in Poland 1 year, and then the coach got fired that brought me in. They end up hiring a coach that coached the previous year. He was an old dude that came back. The teammates would manipulate him into playing soccer every day in practice. So I'm going to the gym like, yo, what is this? He automatically, when he came, he demoted me out the start lineup off the rip because the players had him in their pocket. You know what I'm saying? Like they wanted him to, like, they didn't even go on a coaching search after the coach that brought me in got fired. They went right back to him. And then from there, after the first day, I walked into practice, and soccer was a normal thing. Like, it's warm-up.
Right.
So, but I noticed the warm-up was a little bit longer than normal. Like, okay, like, it's normally 10, 15 minutes to get the blood flowing, then we stretch, we get into our 1-2.
Right. So
he comes in, they talking to him, he leaves. So I'm like, yo, what we doing? So, we're just going to play soccer for the rest of the practice. Y'all niggas is bugging. I'm out of here. I went in the locker room, changed, I went home. You know what I'm saying? The next day, we have practice again. We playing soccer. We not even taking this shit serious. So I'm like, I hit my agent like, yo, no way, my man. Like, yo, the new coach is here. They had him last year. He's an old head. He drank. He come in. They tell him what the players was telling him what we doing in practice. I'm like, I'm not doing that. So I asked for my release. It was like, all right, we got 3 games. It was like, we got 3 games left before the break. You play the 3 games. You come back. We give you your release. I was like, no, I want my release before I leave for break. It's like, how we know you're going to come back? I said, I'm going to come back because then I won't be able to play nowhere else. Like, my word is good. I got to know your word is good. So they sent me my release paper. They gave me my release papers. I signed it in the office. I played those 3 games. My agent like, make sure you hide the release because they got keys to your apartment. They can come back, you know what I'm saying, and go through your stuff and get the papers and stuff. So I'm like, all right, cool. So everywhere I went, that release paper was on me. You know what I'm saying? So I come back from the break or whatever. This is a funny story because my replacement was my man Chutney Gray.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? Chud was my replacement. So they was trying to keep us away from each other. They didn't want me to know who was the replacement. So I ended up going to the hotel one day to go get something to eat. And he comes down. He's like, yo, Twan. I'm like, yo, Chud was good. I'm like, oh, you my replacement? He's like, yo, how is it here? I'm like, yo, bro, they pay on time at the end of the day, but the coach they got here is like, this shit ain't basketball, my man. So he was like, all right, fuck it. I'm going to just come here, get this bread, and do what I got to do. And, you know what I'm saying? So we chopped it up for like 2 days before I left. And then I went to Belgium and played in, I joined the FIBA Cup team.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? And finished out there. They end up, I think I was there for like 3 days. After like 3 days, they paid me for the whole month of February. And I got there like at the end of February. So all the transactions for me in the beginning of my career was good. I was leaving teams still getting paid and stuff like that. So it was good. But you get the bumps and the bruises where teams don't pay you for 2 months, 3 months. You come home without getting paid. Then you get paid a partial payment in the summer. Then you get paid at the end of the summer. Like, that shit ain't all peaches and cream, man. Anybody that play overseas can tell you that, man. That shit ain't, it's stressful, man. It brings on anxiety, like mental. Like, they talk about the mental health now. A lot of us players back then didn't know we was going through mental health issues, dealing with that stuff. We didn't, like, mental health is a big issue now. But we didn't know we was going through that. And, like, you really went through that because the cultures are different. Like, you got to adjust to them. They don't got to adjust to us. You come there to do a job. No matter if you're doing your job or not, they can still get rid of you. And even though your contract say it's guaranteed, they could not pay you still. You got to fight them in court. And now is if your agent and the other foreign agent is willing to take it to court and spend some money, or you got to spend some of your own money to get the money. But, like, man, it's tough, man. You got to be mentally tough.
I'm glad you brought that up because I I wanted to ask you, and I wanted you to touch on, in your opinion, what is one of the biggest misconceptions about playing overseas? Because a lot of people, you know, when they hear, well, he plays overseas, they think it's glitz and glamour. They think that you're playing in France and that you're pretty much luxuriating and you're living this fabulous life. Could you explain to a lot of people that may not know what is one of the biggest misconceptions about playing overseas?
Well, the biggest misconception is like you just going over there playing and getting paid.
Mm.
That's what you're thinking. I'm gonna go over here. I'm gonna practice twice a day, do my job, get paid. But they don't understand the mindset of people in certain countries is totally different from ours. Whether we work here or not, you getting paid. You get paid to do your job. Over there, you could lose 2-3 games in a row. They're like, all right, we're not paying you. Or we deducting 10%, 20%. My contract doesn't say whether we win or lose, I get paid. As long as I come to practice every day on time and I perform to my best abilities in these games, I get paid whether it's on the 10th or the 15th of every month, like clockwork. That's how it's supposed to be. But some teams, it don't happen like that. And then you got some teams that'll do it and be like, they come to you at the end like, yo, we're going to pay you, but don't tell the other guys we paid you. You know what I'm saying? Because you could be busting your ass. You know what I'm saying? Like, yo, we losing 3-4 games in a row, but I'm still averaging 18, 19, leading the league in assists, second in steals, and you going to tell me I can't get paid? Y'all niggas is bugging. Like, I'm getting double teamed, still getting my averages, and you going to tell me I'm not getting paid? Like, come on, my man. Like, then when I go back on the court, it's hard for me not to play the way I play because once I get out there, it's I do what I do.
Right.
But mentally, you got to prepare yourself. Like, sometimes you had to force yourself.
Yo, Twan, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, we good. So listen, that's why I asked you that, man, because a lot of the guys that we have chopped it up with, I always make it a point to ask him that question because I always want you guys to let the people know that, along with being able to play professionally in these countries and do what you do and play a sport that you love, that there are some downsides. Can you hear me? Oh, Joe froze. Yeah, we good.
I don't know if it's mine. I don't know if it's mine or yours, but these heavy winds in PA is tearing this internet up right now.
We good, man. I'm gonna try not to keep you too much longer, but yeah, I was saying that's why we make it a point to have you guys pretty much explain the ins and outs of being a professional player overseas and to shed light on that, man. People think that I'm playing overseas and it's cool and everything is smooth. They need to know that there are some like pitfalls, like you said, like not knowing whether or not you're gonna get paid on time and coaches being in cahoots with players and so on and so forth. So I definitely, I take my hat off, man, to all you guys, man, that have gone. You played 12 years, man. That's not, that's not easy, man. That's not easy. And one of the other things that I wanted to touch on before we get out of here is the fact that not only did you play 12 years, obviously professionally overseas, but you made it your business to come back home every summer and immerse yourself in summer basketball when summer basketball was at its height. at its height. What kept you going, and what kept you pretty much, kept you with that mindset like, yo, I'm gonna come home, I'm gonna play in these tournaments, and I'm gonna kill.
Just the love of the game. You know what I'm saying? Like, where else you gonna find the best competition every time you go in the park? Whether it's guards from my generation, a year older than me, a year younger than me,
right?
Every night you playing for your name. You know what I'm saying? At the end of the day. So that's what I did, and it came a point to where I had to help. You know what I'm saying? Put Queens on the map even more. You know what I'm saying? So one day I ran into my man T, one day Money Train in the building. Queens get the money. You know what I'm saying? To where like TNP was holding Queens down.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So like they was holding Queens down in everything, playing in everything, winning everything.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So then when it came to, you know what I'm saying, the Money Train situation, ran to my man T like, yo, Dope, like what you doing? Like he's like, yo, I want to start a basketball team. Like, I'm Queens all day. Like I had my fair share playing with Harlem teams, Bronx team, but when it comes to the borough, I'm gonna ride with my borough no matter what. You know what I'm saying? So when it came to that opportunity, like, yo, who can we get? Get Seawood, Corey Underwood, start grabbing like different players, LaVon Mapp, Witt out of the Carolinas and stuff like that. And then, we started trailblazing after that. Like, then it became a situation where it was TNP and Money Train just running. Like, we started running through stuff. It was a Queens thing. Like, we was two of those teams that wasn't scared to take our show on the road. You know what I'm saying? No matter who we played against, whether it was bets on the line, bet it. We good. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's how much confidence we had in us. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't too much of I wouldn't say a lack of respect for Queens.
Right.
But I forgot. Sean, there was another team that was holding down before us.
Yeah.
So that's my fault. I'm bugging on that one. And then it became Money Train. We was the little brother, basically, of those two teams. And then, we just started doing our thing, So it was one of those situations where, like, Sean Bell got they stamp, TNP got they stamp. Let's make this Money Train stamp.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So let's put the Queens all the way on the map. We got 3 teams that could go against anybody. You know what I'm saying? And when we played against each other, it was love, but it was battles.
Yes. You were one of those guys, along with a couple of guys that played professionally overseas, but then when you came home, like you said, like you loved the game and you played, like you were a player. So whether it was Watson, Tri-State, D&D Invitational, West 4th, 55th, Dykeman, wherever it was at, you were there. And I always remembered being like, yo, this dude is playing in everything, but he's getting busy at the same time. And 2010 is that's when you got Player of the Year, Nike, for the.
Yeah, that's a story in itself, man. Like I'm gonna tell. I'm not to cut you off, but I'm gonna tell you this. 2000. I'm gonna give you the history of Nike Player of the Year. 2007 it was KSAT.
Right.
2000.
Freezing again. Yo, Twan, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, the last thing I heard you say was 2007. 2007, it was KSAT. It was Kenny Satterfield.
Yep. 2008.
So freezing. E loud. Dobie got kicked off again. There you go. Yes, sir. Salute. 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 Trying to get good looking, Rob. All love, man. Definitely going to have to get you on here, man, so we can chop it up. Tell Dobie get a new phone. We gonna get Dobie back on here. He said them wins, Pennsylvania wins. Best kept, legend, big game breed, legend. Appreciate you. You know we appreciate you. We got nothing but love for you. Waiting for Twan to come back on. Good looking, my brother. Good looking. We appreciate you. Wait for Twan to get back on. He's having some technical difficulties. Salute, Fish. For real. Who we got next? Man, we got a couple dudes lined up, man. Darnell Williams, Keegan Clark. We got this dude, man, named Eddie Shannon from Florida. C. Underwood. Salute. C. Underwood is he up next too. We gonna chop it up with him. We got a couple dudes, man. Definitely. Yo, man, what up, man? There you go. Yo,
Yeah.
we good.
Yeah. Yeah, so like I was saying, 2007 it was KSAT. 2008 it was the OG Mike Campbell.
Mike Campbell, okay.
And that year, the criteria changed every year because it was supposed to be you had to play in all the Nike events.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? So like we know he was Mr. Basketball 101. Right. But you know, OG don't play in everything. He played in West Forth, Pro City.
That's it, right?
So but he got it over me that year because I think I finished second in voting because he actually beat me in West Forth that year.
Okay.
And then he actually beat me in the Tournament of Champions that year as well when I had the 44 points both games.
Back to back.
Yeah.
Right.
So in 2009, I think Audrice won it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Audrice won it in 2009. So we all know.
Jimmy, what up? Yada, what's good? Dope phone keep freezing. Yo, salute. Damn, Twan keep getting kicked off. Epiphany Prince, legend. Salute, my sister. We got to get you up here too when time permits. And if you with it, chop it up. Chop it up. Definitely would love to have the sisters up on here. Ty Garland, salute. Twanky getting kicked off. Stu, what's good? There you go. Back. What's good, Stu? Salute. Yo.
You can hear me?
We good money. We good. Yes, sir. Still breaking up a little bit. For our folk, salute, legend. My guy, salute. They don't keep getting kicked off. Wait for Dope to come back on. Yo, salute. Dope having some technical difficulties. Yo, salute. I'm chopping it up with one of New York City's finest, former pro, Antawn Dobie. I got you, OG. Waiting for Antawn Dobie to come back on. Chop it up with him. Looks like he's having some technical difficulties. There you go. Yo.
Yeah, my fault. My battery died. I didn't even know my shit was dying.
Don't even worry about it. We good. Yo. Twan, can you hear me? Yo, we good.
Yeah. So like I said, this is not to discredit anybody. Like it's the criteria they telling you what you have to play in to win these awards.
Okay.
So in 2009, that's when K1X started making a push into New York, the German sneaker brand.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, we good, Twan. Oh, now it's breaking up. Still breaking up. Man, that wind out there must be something terrible. Nah, Dobie. I think Dobie's done playing. Played overseas for like 12 years. I think if I'm not mistaken, I think he might be coaching now, running his own AAU team, AAU program. But he's done playing though. Done playing. Yes, that's what we chopping it up with tonight. Unfortunately, he's having some, technical difficulties, but it's all good. Definitely had a, opportunity to kick it with him, tell his story. Yeah, his son is nice. His son is tough. Yeah, his son is tough. His son is tough. Even if we don't get to touch on that tonight, we definitely do a part 2 to talk about that. But yeah, his son can play. His son can definitely play. Very much so. Very much so. Yep. And I mentioned that, before in the beginning. He really doesn't get the respect that he deserves. But certainly, one of the toughest guards I've seen play, and another tough guard to come out of New York City, man. Humble dude, good dude. Everywhere he went, he got busy. That's dope. That's dope. That's dope. Wes, what's going on, little bro? For sure. You know that. There you go. I'm going to try it again. Dope.
Yeah, man, I'm trying to be all over this house. The fucking this is why I don't be doing none of this shit.
No, man. Don't even worry about it. We good. Listen, I'm gonna tell you like this, just in case, you know what I'm saying, it's acting up and we can't finish. I most certainly want to do a part 2 with you, if you don't mind, because there's so much more that I want to talk about with you, especially from the coach's perspective now. And now that a lot of people don't know, young brother on here just mentioned that your son is nice. I was like, yeah, your son is tough. I want to talk about that also, but we'll
that man,
that. I'm tough on him because, like I said, you got to earn everything. I'm not gonna give you nothing just because you're my son. But you know what I'm saying? Like, people always say, like, yo, I know that's your son because the apple don't fall too far from the tree. Right.
You got to be a student of the game. You might not be as tall as me. You might not be as athletic as I was. But at the end of the day, you're gonna have the tools to be successful. Now, if you use the tools, you'll see how much success you can get. If you don't use it, then it is what it is. I'm not gonna force you to do nothing or be anything you don't want to be. It's all up to you at the end of the day. You know what I'm saying? So if you want to be a basketball player, just remember, you don't have to accomplish nothing I accomplished. You take your own journey, your own road, whatever you accomplish, I'm going to help you accomplish it. If you want to surpass me in different things and be better than me in this and that and the third, we're going to do it. But it's never any pressure for you to, like, we be in the basement sometime. You're like, yo, Dad, when did you get this? How did you get that? I'm like, nah, stop pulling that stuff out because I don't want him to start looking at my accolades thinking he has to prove to me that he could be what I was. Nah, that's not going to happen here. That's why I didn't name him a junior. You're going to have your own identity.
Yes.
You're going to have your own role, whether you play basketball, baseball, football, whatever, you're going to do your own thing.
Yes, sir.
You know what I'm saying? But I'm here for you, though. I got the cheat code. You want the cheat code? I could give it to you. Now you just got to use it. That's all. You know what I'm saying?
That's it. Well, look, man.
You just got to use it.
But before we get out of here, man, you gotta promise me, you gotta promise us. We can do a part 2. We can go into we can go into the whole AAU basketball, coaching, what it's like to be able to coach your son, all of that, man. You got to promise me we'll do a part 2.
Definitely gonna do a part 2 because that's big. That's big. Coaching your son. I'm gonna get a little into it now before we cut off because at first I didn't want to coach my son. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm his father, one. I train him, two. And then coaching him. That's 3 different aspects, 3 different voices you're hearing from me 24 hours a day.
Yes.
But us where we live at, it's a lot of people that don't know the game. And I can't sit back and watch you not teach my son nothing. And I know about the game. I've been in the game of basketball. I earned my stripes. I've seen a lot of things. Yeah. I constantly watch basketball. So I became his coach by default. But at the end of the day, our relationship got so much stronger from it, though. You know what I'm saying? To where, like, he's on my hip all day. The reason why he ain't on my hip right now because I'm doing this. But if I wasn't doing this, he'd be on my hip right now. We'd be upstairs. We'd be upstairs working out, doing something, or in the basement dribbling, doing something. But it made our bond a lot where he's always hitting me. Yo, Dad, you on your way home? We working out today? Yeah, we working out today. Even if I'm dead tired. But coaching your son is a different level, man, to really getting to know your child really getting to know you from a basketball perspective. And like, you was really nice, Dad. I'm like, yo, I didn't tell you I was nice, but you could find out how I was nice by looking on YouTube and all that. My son don't even know a lot of these stories because I'm still one that don't speak on myself. If he asks questions, I answer. You know what I'm saying? If he go in the basement, he go in the box of all the trophies and the player of the years and the news articles, he could read it himself. You know what I'm saying? Self-educate yourself. And then what you don't know, you ask the questions and I educate you. You know what I'm saying?
Beautiful.
But we definitely gonna have a part 2 to this because we're gonna start off with that Nike player. We're gonna start off with that Nike Player of the Year thing because that's one of those things where I'm gonna tell you right now, I didn't even want to accept the award. 2010, my nigga. Like, that's how fed up I was when they kept changing how I'm finishing second 3 straight years. So that means I could have won it 4 straight years.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, I'm winning Player of the Year, inside street ball, this, that, and the third. But at that time, I'm like, if I'm the people's champ, I'm cool with that. I don't need that award.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? It took a lot for me that day to go walk in the middle of that court to go get that award. My wife was there, my mom, my mother-in-law, they were like, go get it. I'm like, yeah, I earned this 2 years already. I don't need it to say I really won it. You know what I'm saying? But I did it because they was there. But if they wasn't there, God bless the dead. Even Big Strip, he was like, yo, they giving it to you this year. Just take it. You know what I'm saying? So, like, if you ever seen any of the pictures from that day, I didn't really smile when I got that award because I felt I earned it 2 years prior to that because I played in everything from 2008 to 2011. You couldn't tell me I wasn't the hottest guard in that stretch right there. Bottom line, because I played in everything. You know what I'm saying? I was tearing everything up. I was winning 3 to 5 championships from 2008 to 2011. You know, that's when I knew I was like, yeah, I'm becoming. Now I was considered hired help. I'm playing in tournaments I never thought I would play in on side blocks and shit like that. Yo, Dobe, I got this for you. Like where the fuck is that at? You know what I'm saying? Like word? Like people call me. I didn't even know. Like, yo, I got your number from such and such. Yo, we playing against such and such today. I need you. Whatever you need, I got. Like, throw out a number. I'm like, I take that. Come on, that sounds good. But that's when I knew I was at the level of guys I used to watch because they used to always talk about, yeah, I was hired help. Certain games, they only called me because they knew my matchup against him, it was going to be even or it wouldn't be too far. He might have the edge, you might have the edge. Right. It was like that. I need somebody to cancel that guy out. You know what I'm saying? So that's how it was. Like I said, I never really talked about a lot of these stories. They used to have group chats on Facebook. Shout out to cousin of Seawood. He always used to defend me when I was overseas. They're like, yo, bro, they
up, they not listening to you. I'm like, yo, see, well, you know me, I don't need validation for nothing I did. The work itself speaks for it. You know what I'm saying? So like, I love the fact you go to war for me, but I'm not entertaining those chats. For what? I know who I am. I'm secure with who I am and what I've accomplished. So I don't need to tell nobody no different. If that's how you feel about me, I'm cool with it. But check the resume. Name something in New York I didn't win. And I was the underdog all my life. And not only did I win it once, I won it maybe 2 or 3 times. So, you know what I'm saying?
This is why, you know, we were so happy that you said, you know what, let's do this, man. Let's chop it up. Let's kick it. Because people, and you never know, maybe there's some kids that might be tuned in, man. And the people as well, they need to hear your story. They need to hear that you got it out the mud and you got it honestly and you bust your behind. And for that, we salute you always. You've always been, like I said, we graduated the same year. So I've pretty much followed your career from the time that you were at McClancy all the way up until once you stopped playing. And I always felt like you were one of the toughest guards that I've ever seen play. So, you know, I can't wait, you know, for us to chop it up. We do part 2. I want, on behalf of myself and my partner, my brother Cage Moore, and everybody on the check-in, we want to thank you, man. Thank you. Salute to you. Much love, much respect, always. And you know, blessings to you and your family, man. We appreciate you, man. Any parting shots before we get out of here?
Like I said, man, I appreciate the recognition from you and NK, man, Jamal. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, I never did any of this for the recognition. I did it because of the game and the respect of my peers, and that was it. Any accomplishments that came from it, I felt I earned, but didn't need to put it out there. You know what I'm saying? If you know, you know. If you don't, you don't. It's still times now when I go to New York and I'm around tournaments and OGs be like, yo, little man, you know who this is? They like, nah, who that? They like, antifreeze. You better look him up. Like, he was toughest. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, they don't know because I wasn't that marquee name. But when the next time I come around and I see those kids, they're like, yo, you was nice. I see you and all that. So that's the appreciation I get from it. Not knowing who I am and then finding out who I am, that's my satisfaction. You know what I'm saying? So like I said, everything is earned, never given for me. So I got it out the mud. I always had Queens on my back, represented till today. So Queens get the money all day, man. Shout out to, you know what I'm saying, Money Train, Sean Bell, TNP, you know what I'm saying, the 2 fathers of Queens basketball, man. Like, you know what I'm saying, I had the pleasure of playing for both of them at one point, you know what I'm saying. Like, there's no way I could be who I am and, you know what I'm saying, tread the waters that I tread without playing with my fellow Queens teams and things of that nature. And, you know, at the end of the day, I'm very appreciative for y'all letting me come on your platform and give stories and things people don't know about me, you know what I'm saying, to where now they have some insight like, yo, this is why I respected Dobie. He's always a stand-up individual. If he said he was going to play for me, he played for me, this, that, and the third. So now they have more of a background of who I am and what I accomplished. And now they start looking. So once again, my salute to you, K. Jamal. Definitely appreciate you, man. And part 2, just let me know. Like I said, don't speak much, but when I start talking, is on. You know what I'm saying?
Yo, so
all right,
look, I'm gonna holler at you. I'm gonna holler at you off air. We're gonna set that up, man. Again, thank you. Salute to you.
Yeah, and send me your number. We can just chop it up off the air too, and you can really get the insight. So when we come back, then you'll be like, okay, now I have the backdrop of this, and then you can ask whatever you need to ask. You already do your homework, but you can get more of the homework done on a behind the scenes, you know?
Yes, sir, for sure. But yo, much love to you and the family. Peace and blessings, man. Stay safe, stay healthy, and until next time, we're gonna holler at you.
Devin, you do the same, my brother. Peace and love.
Yes, sir.